In 1965, under the Group Areas Act, this neighborhood was exclusively proclaimed for colored people only. Since then, it continued to be an axis where the issues of race, identity, and politics meet. It's in this open green space a grassroots initiative has sprung forth, a canvas of color, pride and self-worth painted by locals. The idea is to inspire young people from Eldorado Park to dream big, but also to understand the importance of self-value.
The people on the walls, these are the people that have made huge differences in their lives. I'll give you an example like Shelton Tetchell. He's got the most barbershops around South Africa, and what he does is he takes youth out of the community, he teaches them how to cut hair, and then he puts them into businesses. So that's why he's on the wall. Raymond Anthony, in the apartheid days, won Olympic jersey. Unfortunately, because of the apartheid, he only received it, I think, a couple of months before he passed on. And he was here in the space. So that's the South African tennis player, Mr. Raymond Anthony. And we have Lisa Laurie, our very Miss South Africa, the first Miss South Africa from Eldorado Park. And that's why she's here. Now, most of the people that's on the wall, it's basically to show the youth to say that even if you are from Eldorado Park, you can become anything in life.
In a nation where 8% are colored, the zestful pride of Eldos echoes in young people like self-taught artist Leandro Guzman.
I'm a colored and I'm very proud to be one. But first, I'm a human and I love humanity. I'm not specific to anything. I'm very open-minded. I'm one who loves people. I love interacting with people. I always learn something new, and that is the way I view the world.
Have you registered to vote? Will you be voting?
Unfortunately, no. No, this is actually a personal view. I honestly feel that I don't want to be part of a political struggle. The reason for that is because of past experiences. When all it becomes is just a publicity stunt, and that is what hurts. When around the voting time, things are just put into place fast enough for people to see progress. But once it ends, everything just falls apart again.
Yet amid this self-awareness, shadow looms. Eldos is one of Gauteng's crime hotspots. In 2013, a group of mothers wrote an open plea to the then President Jacob Zuma, desperate for intervention. Today, residents of Eldos are candid about their disappointment, and it's easy to see why. Just being here though, at Section 1, there is an uneasy calm. Unemployed mother of four, Delia van Wyk, voices her frustration with a system that has overlooked her community's plight.
You don't cut our grasses here. You don't care about us. Look at the area. Where must our kids play? Look at the grounds. Our kids can't play. Why can't those people come from city parks and cut our grasses and cut all those trees off? Sometimes there's gunshots going off. You don't know who is it. You can't say it's this one, is that one, or assume. There's a lot of things happening in this area, but before you judge the next person's children or condemn, why can't you go and ask my boy, why are you doing this? Stop blaming people's children for things they are not doing. We all are going through challenges in life, but the most important thing in Extension 1, unemployment rate is rising. We need job. And how are we gonna get job? We've been, like now, I just came looking for people to get me a job. I've been up and down, even for cleaning job. I get nothing. How must I survive? Does Sasa help? No. It doesn't help. It doesn't even come halfway. Our people are living in rotten flats. The windows outside are falling into each other. We had a situation where the flats lights were off for 1 month and poof, it went on. So when are those people going to pay attention to us in Extension 1?
Despite the hardships, Delia's resolve to vote in the upcoming elections remains unshaken.
Are you going to vote?
Yes, I must. I don't have a choice. I have to. It's a principle.
Excited?
No, just one of those.
Please explain.
They're not going to buy me bread. They're going to do still nothing for me. After I vote, their life goes on. My life have to stand still again. Nobody do nothing for me. But I have to vote. If I had a choice, I wouldn't have gone. Because nobody does nothing for me. Even if I ask them to buy me a loaf of bread, they're going to give me a brick, which I've experienced for most of them.
But for others, like this community leader and activist, they are not convinced at all by the political rhetoric that accompanies this election.
I'll be honest with you now, I'll be blunt with you. These people will only be here now, saying that this service delivery we will do, this is what we will do, this is what we will do. For that one day will they move around. Once you give them the position to go into that chair, it's goodbye, Charlie. And especially as marginalized people, they're like cockroaches around you. They need your vote. Here we're sitting with a big problem with water and electricity, rates and tax. We're sitting with that. The billing is not 100%. Irregular billing, wrong addresses, wrong meter numbers. Everything is wrong. So we're making it clear and very, very clear to say that we're not going to say that we're going to stand on the streets or whatever it is. You understand? Stay at our properties, in our houses, or take our wives for supper or for lunch or for whatever it is. But don't vote.
In fact, he doubts as this community that the election will give them voice and change.
Colored is actually part and parcel of the First Nation, the Khoi and the Sand. So we are the First Nation around here. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem like it that we're the First Nations. We have no way that we are part and parcel in Parliament where we can make decisions regarding the marginalized people.
Many residents here are proud being who they are, but they admit a lot still needs to be done to uplift this community and many others like it.
Soweto is a historic bastion of black resistance against apartheid, birthing some of South Africa's most iconic freedom fighters. It is here where the reverberations of the 1976 uprisings echoed globally, where the Freedom Charter was crafted to challenge an oppressive regime. However, in recent years, the escalation of unemployment, the rising cost of living have propelled both the young and old into an unconventional battle. They have survived the darkest of times, yet 30 years after gaining freedom, they continue to yearn for more. These elders are resolute in their focus on their vote. Life for the senior citizens has become particularly difficult, especially since most feel that they've been neglected. But their challenges require more than divine intervention. The aspirations they have in the upcoming polls are more about those they are likely to leave behind. Amid passionate cries, political parties are wooing voters with promises of job opportunities to millions, with the young generation fervently spreading this message. The so-called born frees might not be able to resonate with the nostalgia of a democratic transition, a sentiment that is usually attributed to the voter apathy among the youth. And yet here on the vibrant streets of Soweto, young people are actively dispelling that myth and boldly pledging their allegiance, quite literally by raising their party flags high. All political formations are hedging their bets on the basis of voter turnout, which statistics show are namely the elderly and women.
The EFF did face a bit of a decline, in the previous elections because there was newcomers, but also people were still, gullible and bought into the xenophobic sort of campaign slogans that dominated, I think, the election, the local government election of 2021.
A cursory glance on social media would have you believe the governing party is repulsed by young people and only the gogos still pin their hopes on the ANC. But the reality on the ground in places like Meadowlands Zone 7 paints a different picture.
I have no doubt the people of South Africa have always loved the ANC in their majorities, and they've always returned the ANC to be the government of the country. And even in this case, yes, there is scientific evidence, but there is on-the-ground evidence as well.
But in the 30 years of democracy, a poignant truth emerges. There are many who remain forsaken, their dreams deferred. The ANC is quick to boast that it's created approximately 5 million housing opportunities in the last 30 years. And yet it's the absence of these homes in some areas here in Soweto that's left a few residents questioning. In the past 2 elections, it's this housing shortfall that's driven individuals in these communities to abstain from casting their vote. The discrepancy between promise and reality begs a critical question. Can we truly move forward when some basic needs remain unkept? For residents in Block 3 Doornkop, while they have shelter, water and sanitation remain elusive.
At Block 3 we are having challenges around my toilet.
Sure.
So as Action SA again, we have tried to siyofaka memorandum City of Joburg.
Yeah.
Ukuthi bakwazi uku-attend lapha Block 3 ngama toilet. It's been almost
How many people
20
live
years.
there? How many people live there?
Almost 105 people that live there.
105.
Yes.
Okay.
They don't have toilets.
Yes, for how long?
It's been almost 29 years now.
Sure.
They don't have a toilet.
Since the dawn of democracy, pretty much.
Yes.
In Tubelisha Green Village Phase 4, residents have been without electricity for almost 4 months after poor weather conditions burst the nearby transformers.
Sikhathele ngeke sibhowude ngoba sinagesi. Sikukile sinje amadolo abuhlungu ebusuku. Hayi sikhathele mangama. Sivotela nje.
We are going to make an extra effort as the EFF. We are here to assure you as EFF in Soweto that even the EFF in Gauteng is aware about this issue, and we are going to do our very best hore le thole motlakase wa lona before the election ho votiwa. But you must vote on the 29th of May. Gesi wethu siyawufuna.
Soweto accounts for around 25% of the vote in Gauteng, as it remains one of the largest townships in the province. Despite political contestation on the ground, political tolerance and maturity prevail. The new kids on the block are also not to be underestimated.
I rise. We rise. We rise. Amandla.
In the political arena, new contenders exude confidence as they challenge the long-standing dominance of established parties. But it's the party of former ANC President Jacob Zuma, Umkhonto weSizwe, that is of particular concern to some parties.
So far, here, the only political party that I think is actually a challenge for me is Umkhonto. This ward was actually Action SA, but since Umkhonto took over, now it's Action SA Umkhonto, Action SA Umkhonto.
Oh, really? So they're taking some of your votes?
Yes. So they've took some of my votes. I won't lie about that one. They did take it. So that's why I'm trying now, by all means, Monday to Friday, I'm on the ground, trying to make sure that I'm bringing back my people. You understand? But
so when you talk to the ones that have left, why do they say they've decided to jump from Action SA to Umkhonto?
Some of them, there are reasons I don't actually understand them. I don't want to lie.
With campaign posters adorning the streets and dedicated volunteers canvassing the neighborhoods, the fate now lies in the hands of the people of Soweto. It's their decision to choose the path to a brighter future, potentially granting one of these parties an opportunity to lead the most populous and prosperous province in the country.